Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And it seems that we have some craziness afoot here, some insanity going on, if you will. And I think what we have is just something that we all need to take into account of what would be Biden's plan to possibly win the actual 2024 election. And I've always said, I don't think I said it on this channel, but I have said it outside in family meetings and stuff like that, or to other people outside of the channel. And I've been saying that the only way that the Biden administration can even remotely come and win is if they cheat in some type of regard, because the support that Donald Trump is getting from both actually Democrats and the independent people is way too high. It's too strong. And I think we have a way, or they have a way, in order to solve that problem. What we have here is that the Biden administration offers mass amnesty to migrants as it quietly terminates 350,000 asylum cases. While the Biden administration is attempting to look like it's getting tough on the border, behind the scenes is operating a program of mass amnesty for migrants, the Post can reveal. Data show that since 2022, more than 350,000 asylum cases filed by migrants have been closed by the U.S. government. If the applicants don't have a criminal record or otherwise not deemed a threat to the country, this means that while the migrants are not granted or denied asylum, their cases are terminated without a decision on the merits of their asylum claim. They're removed from the legal system and no longer required to check in with authorities. The move allows them to legally indefinitely roam the U.S. without fear of deportation, effectively letting them slip through the cracks. And what we have here is that we have had between 2014 and 2020 and 2023, there's only been a maximum of maybe total of maybe 15,000, 20,000 people coming aboard, right? So that's what's been going on here. But now, it's ordered to be removed, which is, pretty much just here, 52,000 around there for the most part. But the granted asylum in 2020 through 2021, we had to start making a stats converse, which means only in 2021 we can really count, because Joe Biden got into it, I may believe, in 2020, but nothing really started coming into effect about a year afterwards, and then it started taking this rise. And now 43,000 have been granted asylum, and it's climbing. And people that have been not adjudicated has 149,000 starting from 2021. So yeah, notice that when Trump was in office, this was not the case. But when Trump is not in office, it skyrockets. This is just a massive amnesty under the guise of prosecutorial discretion, according to Andrew Arthur, a former immigration judge who works for the Center for Immigration Studies. You're basically allowing people who don't have a right to be in the United States to be here indefinitely, he added to the Post. Please let everyone know what's really going on. In 2020, during the Trump administration, 48,000 migrants were ordered removed from the U.S. by immigration court judges. Fewer than 20,000 people were granted asylum, and 4,700 people had their cases closed or were otherwise allowed to remain in the country, according to the data collected by the Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse. In 2022, Joe Biden, a memo issued by ICE's principal legal advisor, Carrie Doyle, and seen by the post-extradition prosecutors at the agency to allow cases to be dismissed for migrants who aren't deemed national security threats. Well, I think that all the illegal migrants that are coming in here could be potential security threats. So I don't know where we're going with this. That doesn't mean all of them are going to be a national security threat, but I think you should make them all be a potential security threat because you don't know them. They're unknown. We don't know where these people are exactly coming from in terms of, their morals, etc., and what crimes they've committed. We just don't know. So I think they should all be considered a national security threat. That year, 36,000 were ordered removed, 32,000 were awarded asylum, and 102,000 had their cases dismissed or otherwise taken off the books, 10 times the number in 2014. In 2023, there were 149,000 cases in this latter category, and so far, financial year 2024, which ends September 30th. The numbers are starting to surpass that, with 140,000 cases closed already. Since Biden assumed office, 76% of asylum seekers have been allowed to remain in the country, according to Track. That equates to 500,000 of the 648,000 who applied for asylum in the U.S. in that time. The current backlog of asylum cases stands at 3.5 million, and shaving more than 100,000 people a year off it makes the administration look better, so told the Post. One case or cases are closed, migrants are no longer in removal proceedings and subject to deportation. The government's default position for all migrants admitted at the border. The migrants are under no obligation to leave the U.S., and once cases are dismissed, the person is no longer monitored by ICE and required to regularly check in with them, unlike those still pursuing asylum claims. If the case gets dismissed, you're basically back to nothing. Washington-based immigration lawyer Hector Quiroga told the Post, clarifying that migrants with dismissed cases can't receive benefits or work permit. Quiroga said that there are 4 clients with horrible cases, one in which they are unlikely to ultimately prove they need asylum. That's better than having a deportation order. Once a migrant's case is terminated, the person can reapply for asylum or seek other forms of legal status in the U.S. These potentially include applying for family-based visas, employment-based visa, or other humanitarian protections such as temporary protected status or deferred action for child arrivals if they meet the eligibility requirements, immigration lawyer Sergio C. Garcia told the Post. Migrants whose asylum cases have been dismissed can approach the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to explore other legal avenues to remain in the country. It's important for them to consult with an immigration attorney to identify the best options available for their specific situation. So, this is what's going on here, and as you can see, orders removed, which were between all that because this was between Obama and Trump. So, 2014. These are all under, these are all Obama here. So 10,000 was removed here. 10,000 in 2015, 10,000 were removed. 2016, 14,000 was removed, which was when Trump came into office. 22,000 in 2017, 33,000 in 2018, 52,000 in 2019, and 48,000 in 2020. Now, in 2021, orders removed are 17,000, 36,000, 52,000, and 33,000. And granted asylum in 2014 is 12,000, 12,200, 12,683, 14,000 in 2017. 2018 is 17,958. 2019 is 24,000. 2020 is 19,000. And 2021 is 13,000. 2022, 31,000, 2023, 43,000, and 2024 is 46,000. Those were the granted asylum. And, of course, allowed to remain in 2014 is 10,000, 15,015, 16, 20,000, 2017, 11,000, 18, 5,000, 19, 4,000. Rounded up by 5,000. Rounded up 5,000 in 2020. In 2021, 18,000. 2022, 102,000. 2023, 149,000. And 2024, 113,000. So you can see the dramatic increase of people being allowed to remain and all that stuff. So that's what's insane here. And we have more. Says, I know this is political, guys, bear in mind, but it says Biden executive action on the border could come as early as Tuesday. President Joe Biden is set to sign a long-anticipated executive order as soon as Tuesday that would allow him to shut down the southern border should crosses surge, according to 4 people familiar with the administration's plans. While those people caution that plans are fluid, the expectation is that Biden will issue the order before heading to France in the middle of the week for a ceremony celebrating the 80th anniversary of D-Day. The order Biden is slated to announce would use Section 212 of the Immigration and Nationality Act to dramatically limit migrants' ability to seek asylum at the southern border once encounters reach a new threshold. Administration officials have discussed an average of 4,000 daily border crossings over the course of this week as the metric. The White House has long been eager to show more action on the border. A long-standing political weak spot for the president is supported a bipartisan security bill tied to Ukraine aid. And after Republicans defeated that measure, Biden took a string of actions in recent weeks to speed up the asylum process and dissuade migration. That pushed angry progressives who argued that the White House was conceding the immigration debate to conservatives, but the pressure to act has only justified as Donald Trump, who said would close the border on his first day in office should he be elected into a second term. And Republicans have keyed on the number of illegal crossings to attack the administration's record. So what's going to happen here, essentially, is that he's allowing these people to quicken up the migration thing, so that way they can, possibly get more votes coming in. So what we have here is it's not just young voters. New citizens will head to the polls this year too. Millions of Americans can vote for the first time in the general election this fall. And while the majority of those will be voters just aging into eligibility, it's a group that also includes new U.S. citizens spanning across generations. An estimated 3.5 million adults of voting age have been naturalized in the U.S. since the 2020 election, according to data from the U.S. Immigration Policy Center at the University of California, San Diego, with over a third from Asia, followed closely by North and Central America, and nearly 11% from Africa. New citizen voters are a group that advocates say could wield political power in the presidential race, especially in key swing states with sizable immigrant populations and where just a small portion of votes can determine a winner. That said, with lower levels of recorded turnout compared to U.S.-born voters, challenges remain in getting new citizens to show up in polls. In a new poll commissioned by the National Partnership for New Americans, looking at naturalized voter attitudes, issues to the economy rank as most important, the survey conducted with the U.S. Immigration Policy Center, which polled individuals in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Florida, California, and Texas, found the issue of immigration comes immediately after economic concerns. Potentially influential vote, stuff like that. So, yeah, this is what's going on here, is that Biden is wanting to, these Democrats, these fascists, these dictators are trying to get these asylum seekers to be, to be granted, to be removed, and then not be able to, and then be able to do whatever they want, be able to vote. And that's the case here, what we're going to have with Biden. This is where we would call it the shadow campaign, or what Tim Cool calls the shadow campaign, which I think it's actually a good name for, because these people are going to be allowed to vote. Like, that's just the way it is. This is the reason why they're allowing so many of these people to come in. So that way they can cheat the system and allow these new people to come in. And there's also been reports of, Biden doing some sneaky deals with the fact that, he wants more people to come in to vote. So I think what we have here is a concern that the administration is trying to cheat some new voters in, so that way it can do it. Along with trying to allow overseas funding into our from out of country, and have people do donations and stuff there. So there's a lot of creepy and weird stuff going on in the background here that I'm going to have to do a little more work on. But it's not looking good in terms of voters, because I think Biden is using this to get more voters and to win the election that way. Like I said, I don't think he has any actual way to win the election in any normal way. But of course, with this could be one thing to where they can possibly do it. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.